Alright guys, it is time to take this bike for a little bit of a spin. It's freezing today. Better than the old 03 that I had. This thing's just moving, it's moving fast, and I'm trying to keep my speed down. Holy cow, yeah. But I like how it handles a whole lot more. It's a little bit more predictable. The power is a little bit more linear. I'm trying to keep within reason of the speed limit. Man, it is just incredibly smooth. I'm like in top gear, by the way. It just pulls. Shifting, you don't need to downshift very much on it. It does have a lot of room for cornering. I've never hit any pegs on this thing. A lot of bikes do that too. I hate doing that. Like, I try to stay within reason. I barely go over the double yellow. I mean, in case I'm like running over gravel or something, I might occasionally go. I barely started the ride and my GoPro was at 100%. It's already dead. Low battery. Yeah, this thing will wheelie. Oh man. Oh my god. I'm up to speed. And fifth gear passes really quick. This is what this machine loves. These big, wide open roads. But it's very predictable the way it handles, the way the power goes. But you don't want to go too fast into corners on this because it's a massive bike. By the way, the roads are kind of cold, so it's not like you have full cornering capabilities. But the brakes on this are some of the best I've seen as well. So smooth. The shifting is just so precise. Oh my god. The acceleration is fun. You see, and the cool thing too about riding this bike in the twisties is that you go from 5th gear to 4th gear really, and that will keep up with most bikes. Now if you're nuts, drop it down to 3rd, and that's like tail of the dragon sort of territory. These big long sweepers, this is what this bike likes. It's the same type of roads that sport bike likes, like very well manicured bikes. You can't have a lot of bumpiness to it. Look at the mountains in front of us. Look at this, a covered bridge. Maryland, near the border's got quite a few of these. They're really cool. This is one of the few bikes I can keep my visor up in winter. That's 5th gear, and it pulls really well. I'm not even trying to, it's just like an automatic. Pretty tight corners here. But very predictable handling. It's getting colder. It's like 36 degrees now on the bike, so that means it's like 32 degrees. This is the type of roads that this bike likes. One thing that the Super Tenere had, like when I was riding through here, super wide handlebars. They almost feel like you are going to clip one of the mailboxes or light posts. But on this, it's much shorter because it's a road bike, and that keeps your speed much more stable at higher speeds, of course. Look at that, that dip did nothing to the suspension. We back this road. That's old abandoned Fort Richie Road. And I found this with Squirrely. This is one of the abandoned things in here. Look at that. Really neat. This is the St1300. This is 2004, so the high-speed wobble has been corrected on this. I haven't done a lot of high-speed sort of work, but this bike, it's winter. It's like 36 degrees, and I am not really feeling that cold. I mean, it is cold. The only part of my body that's cold is really my feet, but my feet tend to get kind of cold. So one of the really cool things about this is the girth. I mean, just look at the girthiness of this bike. It is wide. It doesn't get wider than this. And this thing is massive. 1300 cc's, not as powerful as the FJR or some of the big concours from Kawasaki, but I believe this one is like the more refined one. So if you are not interested really in top speed horsepower numbers, this is the one to get. It comes already with the side cases. They're very expensive, but they work really well. They're by Honda, of course. They're factory saddlebags, and I'm already making a mess of this. Is this me? This might be me. See my boots? That might not be me. I don't know. But the exhaust sounds good. This is a stock exhaust. It's got dual tips. And the rear lights, very visible from the back. And I see a lot of the St1300 riders put like high vis sort of stuff in the back. Because people that get this bike, they keep the bike. They hold on for their entire lives. Just check out Old Man on a Bike. He's got a YouTube channel. He rides one of these and he trailers a trailer. So that's incredible because this bike has got so much torque. It just pulls. And of course, you get this bike mainly for the reliability. You know, a lot of the reporters, they take a 2022 bike out. They ride it for a day or two, if they're lucky, a year, and then they kind of share it amongst other reporters, and that's how they make their reviews. They don't really make it based on reliability. But when you have a bike like this that's proven, you know that this thing is fully capable of reaching 300,000 miles, 400,000 miles, 500. There are many of these out there that just have crazy, insane numbers. The people that get this bike keep it. It's one of those bikes that people just hold on for the entire life. And this one, barely seen any action. 25,000 miles on it. That's a baby. But sometimes when you have a bike that's only 20,000 miles, there could be like some potential problems because it is fairly old. It's almost historic. So one of the impressive things is that it's got a 7.7 gallon tank. And the way it works, a lot of Hondas have this. They have a smaller tank up here, and then they have a larger tank over here. And that keeps the weight low. So Honda has always been interested in that. They don't really fight you with the horsepower numbers. What they do is they try to one up you in engineering. And that's a great way of doing it. Sure, the weight is higher because you have 2 tanks, but the way it rides, it feels lower. I had the FJR. It is much more top heavy than this bike. It's just freezing. It is freezing, guys. And that's amazing because on the winter, I don't normally do long rides, but I've ridden 200 miles. And I'm probably going to do 100 miles on the way home. So, it's got a top case. That's actually from the Silverwing. It looks kind of goofy. And the bike actually looks good with just the saddlebags. The saddlebags integrate really nicely onto the bike. This bike is super ugly if you remove the saddlebags. The FJR 1300 looks great without saddlebags and with saddlebags. So Honda could have done a little bit better in redesigning this bike, I think. But it's very easy. By the way, you have a sight glass. Took me a while to figure out where it was on my other one. It is right down there. Very hard to see. But, you know, you don't really need to. This bike doesn't consume oil. It doesn't do anything. It just keeps on running. Of course, this is a V4, so that's the engine. It's like sideways. And 4 cylinders. 2 on each side. So it's like a very unique engine. This is kind of cool. You can put your feet up here. I haven't really tried it. This bike is so comfortable. I don't really need that. Really nice thing that this bike has is this crash protection for your saddlebags. I was actually hit by a car. He hit me at a stop sign, and I dropped the bike on the right side and completely cracked the saddlebag. If I had this, that would have saved it. These things are very expensive to repair. It very expensive, so be very careful. And look at this. You also have a pocket. It's pretty deep. You can carry quite a bit of stuff in there. Just the way it even like snaps shut. Very well done by Honda. When you come here to this side, you have a key. I have one of these nubby ones, but it's lockable. It's kind of like the Silverwing in a way. It's very similar to the Honda Silverwing. Get this, 1300cc, about the same mileage that you would get on the Honda Silverwing scooter, 91 pounds heavier. Just 91 pounds heavier, and completely almost does the same thing. Gets the same mileage. Not as good protection as the Silverwing, but man, that's kind of crazy when you think about it. Whenever you see some guy that's got an ST1300, they ride a lot. You know, this bike is not a posing bike. This is just meant to get the business done. If you want to like crush miles and still have a lot of fun in the twisties, this might be a bike that you should get. And of course, you can get great deals on these things. These are incredibly inexpensive because everybody gets the, hey, look at that car. Everybody gets like the Goldwing if they want to do touring now. This bike is no longer available. Yeah, it's pretty fast. Hit the face. Oh yeah, it's sleeting. Not much, but I was not expecting sleet. Look at that. Yeah, it's sleeting. Yeah, not exactly great sounding, but it's good sounding in a silent way, which I like. Bike does not like to brake in the corners. Guys, that's the end of the ride today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and make sure you like and subscribe some other YouTubers as well, like Angry D, Moto Giant, Old Man on the Bike, Adventure Glide. I put a description down below, so please subscribe to them, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. and totally redeem yourself.